Hello guys, back again. This time we're going to talk about an interesting report came out from Swerve, SWRVE, via Recode, which is who did basically the interview with them, basically stating that most players who play free-to-play titles quit playing a new game after less than 24 hours. And it doesn't surprise me because I do think, especially in the mobile market, it's very competitive, and it's easy to throw away a game if you just like it or just want to try it, and then you can play another game. I mean, it's very competitive. But digging in numbers, it gets more interesting. First of all, one of the things they found was they tracked over 10 million new players, over 30 different games across 90 days, and found that 19% of them opened the game just once, and that 66% of them had stopped playing after 24 hours. And like I said, how competitive the mobile market is, you could play a game really quickly and be like, you know what, I don't like this, I'll move on. There's a ton of other games just like this I can download and play. And especially in the mobile space, it's getting very competitive. The report found that only 2.2% of players actually spend any money at all on the game, and that 46% of a game's total revenue came from the top 10% of spenders. So top 10% of spenders are accounting for 46% of the game's revenue, and that basically they said that basically they also found that 53% of revenue collected in games was made within the first 7 days after a user began playing. And I think that does make actually a lot of sense, because when you first play a new game, you're excited, it's a new experience. You want to do, you're really into the game. Maybe you're competing against your friends to get level ahead of them or a higher score, and you say, you know what, oh, it's only $1 or $2 to do this. I'll pay $1 or $2, and you spend money, and then after a while, you kind of I'm done with this, and you're done with the game. Especially with free-to-play games on mobile devices, real easy to do that. This report is kind of similar to the report back in February, which found that just 1.5% of players spent money on games, and that 50% of revenue came from the top 10 spenders. So these are kind of in line. They're really close to each other within the margin of error. But the CEO of the report said, it's like a first date. If it's going to be effective, it needs to be effective quick. And I truly do believe that in order to catch me to play a game, it better be good quickly and keep me hooked. If it's not good quickly, I want to move on to another game. The firm, based this report, the firm said this is basically a word of caution around user acquisition, that users are fickle and they'll leave your game to the next game rather quickly, especially on mobile devices. There's a lot of games, just me and my family have played that we liked it, we played it, and then we just moved on. It's like, okay, I'm kind of bored. This is the same thing over. Especially a lot of free-to-play games, they do the same thing over and over. After a while, it is kind of boring because they're kind of just rehashing the same thing. There's nothing new to keep you hooked. Some games, Angry Birds or such, it is 99 cents, but Candy Crush Saga, for example, they constantly have added new levels to the game. Transformers, which I played on the iPad, which I don't play anymore due to the fact they added you had to go to their site and have a user login to play the game. I was like, I'm done. But in that case, every week they have week or two, they have a new storyline, which is basically you battling to either unlock new characters or whatever. There's constantly new content, and as long as there's new content that is interesting, you can keep the gamers playing. But eventually you'll be like, okay, I've done this. Candy Crush Saga, how many times can you redo the same thing, the basically more or less a Tetris clone or any other kind of game you can call like that, the 3 pieces got to match or these pieces got to match kind of thing. How long can you play that before you're like, okay, redo the levels before people go, you know what, this is fun, but everybody I know who played it have played the game, they moved on to something else. And in this market, when you got there's a ton of free-to-play games out there. They're all a lot alike. You don't have to be like, oh man, this game is it. I love this game, and there's no other game like this on there. It's just not true. I spent money on the Transformer game. It was like $3. My wife spent, I think, $5 on Candy Crush Saga very early because she competed against friends. But eventually, it's like, I got my fun in this game, and I'm kind of bored. And free-to-play games have a hard time keeping you play for a long time. I think that is one of their biggest downfalls, is that you do get bored after playing a while. That they are basically the same game over and over. Yeah, every level is the same. It's the same thing over and over. It's very repetitive. So what do you think about this basic this report about mobile games? Have you ever spent any money on a mobile game? Have you ever free to play? Have you ever thought, you know what, I like this game, I want to spend money on this game? Normally, except for the Transform game, I've never spent money on a free to play game on the mobile device. I'll just rather wait and play one of my time. I have more time, or go on to the next game that maybe plays more like the way I like it. Have you ever spent money on it? Would you not play a game because it's free to play and it has microtransactions and of some kind? Whether it be buy more energy to do more stuff, link your account to Facebook to get more energy right away, or anything like that. Like always, guys, thanks for watching, thanks for liking, subscribing. I really do appreciate it, and I will talk to you guys later.